So friends, the month of March started with judges delivering Donald Trump 3 court losses within 90 minutes, or as it was reported at the time, 3 different judges delivered legal setbacks and slapdowns to Donald Trump in a span of an hour and a half. And the month of March ended with 2 more federal judges, each appointed by a Republican president, delivering Trump 2 more losses in court late Friday evening. Friends, don't despair, don't give in, don't give up. Just as the federal courts are doing, we all need to keep fighting for the rule of law and for a healthy democracy, because justice matters. Here is a brief recap of the legal stories for the month that was March 2025. So friends, an important ruling was just handed down by a judge in California. Now, we all saw the devastation wrought when the Trump administration callously and cavalierly fired thousands of federal government employees who were relatively new hires, folks who are on what's called probationary status. Well, a federal judge just ruled that those firings were illegal. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So friends, the month of February started with Donald Trump and his administration trying to hollow out the ethical leadership and the ethical rank and file at the FBI. And the month ended with them trying to hollow out the JAG leadership, the Judge Advocate General Corps, the top legal leadership of the Army, of the Navy, and of the Air Force. You know, friends, it really does feel like the month of February is going to go down as a true low point in American history. If a court issues a contempt order that involves a member of the administration, what does the Marshal Service do with that?
It's a touchy situation anytime we're dealing with attorneys or politicians. I will tell you that historically our authority derives from the Attorney General.
Well, friends, yet another honest, ethical, dedicated public servant is forced out of government service by the Trump administration. This time, it's Assistant Director in charge of the New York FBI field office, James Dennehy. So friends, in a Supreme Court ruling today, 4 Supreme Court justices were entirely willing to let the Trump-induced darkness descend on America. But the good news is 5 Supreme Court justices were not. In a very real sense, those 5 justices today pushed back against Donald Trump's abuse and overreach. And hey, we will take our points of light where we can find them. So friends, a lot of state attorneys general are rising to the challenge and, let's just call it what it is, kicking Donald Trump's butt in court. So friends, in a truly breathtaking abuse of power and abuse of office, the U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia just told Georgetown University School of Law that it can't teach DEI, and that if it continues to do so, its students will be banned from being considered for internships or employment at the D.C. U.S. Attorney's Office. As I say, friends, this is a breathtaking abuse of prosecutorial power. So friends, in the criminal case against New York City Mayor Eric Adams, Donald Trump's dirty DOJ tried to dismiss the case temporarily what we call without prejudice. What does that mean? It means they get to bring the case back, revive it, re-indict it anytime they want, thereby holding it over Adams' head. And the presiding judge in the case said, wait a minute. And he appointed outside counsel to weigh in on whether this was the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do. And boy, did that outside counsel just weigh in. His opinion? Donald Trump's DOJ should not be allowed to hold those charges over Eric Adams' head. Why does it matter to you so much if it's a murder, this skull that they found? And he says, because if she's just another Jane Doe unexplained death, nobody will care past tomorrow. But if she's a homicide victim in a homicide case, then the case gets worked and we have a chance to get some answers.
First, it's a little bit of an out-of-body experience hearing you read those words, because that was in the first couple of chapters that I wrote.
So friends, at his recent speech to Congress, did you see Donald Trump thank Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts and tell him that he, Donald Trump, won't forget it? He won't forget what Roberts did for him? So friends, with yet another federal court loss for Donald Trump, he just may be setting an all-time record for the most court losses by any president and his administration. Let's talk about his most recent loss. So friends, let's start today with a quote from a federal court judge regarding Donald Trump's retaliation against a law firm that he doesn't like. Quote, "This may be amusing in Alice in Wonderland, where the Queen of Hearts yells, 'Off with their heads,' at annoying subjects and announces a sentence before a verdict," Judge Howell said, "but this cannot be the reality we are living under." Close quote. So friends, yesterday we had a federal judge compare Donald Trump's unlawful conduct to the Queen of Hearts in Alice in Wonderland, yelling "off with their heads" regarding people who displeased the Queen. We also had a second federal judge say that the laws the Trump administration was violating are designed to, quote, "save the people from autocracy." And today, a third federal judge said that Trump's DOJ officials who were arguing before that judge were giving him, quote, "sham documents." And the judge said that he felt like he was being, quote, "misled by the U.S. government." You know, friends, federal judges are not just points of light, but they are beacons of light and of truth and of accountability. So friends, in his speech at the Department of Justice, Donald Trump desecrated, disrespected, and demeaned the DOJ and all of the good men and women who still work there on behalf of the American people. So friends, while Donald Trump and his administration continue to lose court cases day after day in trial courts and appellate courts from coast to coast, what does Donald Trump do? Well, he tries to distract us by blathering on about pardons and auto pens and the ever-popular witch hunts. So friends, by potentially violating a federal judge's order to turn planes around and bring folks back to the U.S. so their due process rights could be honored, how close are Trump administration officials to being held in contempt? Well, friends, a federal judge finally ordered Elon Musk to stop. So friends, Donald Trump and Elon Musk unlawfully fired public servants, federal government employees. Then judges ordered that those employees must be rehired, and now the federal government is hiring them back. You know, Elon Musk and his fake governmental agency, the Department of Governmental Efficiency, the DOGE, is actually squandering taxpayers' dollars. You know how to make government more efficient? Fire Elon Musk. Well, friends, in the face of Donald Trump retribution, one big law firm, Paul Weiss, refuses to fight and instead caves to Donald Trump to the tune of $40 million. So, friends, in response to Donald Trump's DOJ lawyers making absurd and unsupportable arguments in court, a federal court judge just erupted by saying, "You must think I'm an idiot." So, friends, it was another busy day in court today as federal judges again take the Trump administration to task for violating the constitutional rights of human beings. So, friends, Donald Trump's dirty DOJ officials are creeping closer and closer to being held in contempt of court. So, friends, we may be losing our capacity to be surprised by the lawlessness of the Trump administration and its Republican flunkies in Congress, but let's never lose our capacity to be outraged, because House Speaker Mike Johnson just said that his proposed remedy for dealing with the avalanche of Trump's losses in court, quote, "We do have the authority over the federal courts. As you know, we can eliminate an entire district court," Johnson said. Well, friends, a federal appeals court has sided with Judge James Boasberg and against the Trump administration's unconstitutional deportations of Venezuelan immigrants. Well, friends, two more federal court judges just ruled against Donald Trump, putting a stop to yet more of his unconstitutional executive orders punishing law firms. And who are these two judges who most recently ruled against Donald Trump? So, friends, two more law firms are now suing Donald Trump for his transparent lawlessness and abuse of power, signing executive orders designed to punish law firms for, get this, having previously employed attorneys who had the nerve to try to hold Donald Trump accountable for his misconduct. So now a total of 3 of our nation's premier law firms are suing Donald Trump for his unconstitutional abuse of power. So I guess that makes Donald Trump once, twice, 3 times a tyrant. Let's talk about that, because justice matters.
It's for sure. Justice matters. Justice matters. Justice matters.